So yeah, boys, back on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing my workouts. I'm going to explain what I think, why I'm doing things, so that you can improve as a trainer or as an athlete, and so that you understand what real training for athleticism is all about. So yeah, plyo plus leg session today. Let's get it.
So here I'm just warming up, getting ready for more intense versions of my plyometrics. Nothing too crazy, just grooving the movements, trying to stay as relaxed as possible and not to feel any pain when doing them.
So my left knee is injured right now, but I'm almost done with rehab and I'm easing back into plyometrics. For now, I'm just going to be using force dampening type movements. That means yielding plyometrics where I sink in deep and rebound in a nice bouncy manner. And on my other leg, I'm training normally high impact plyos, short ground contact times, high peak forces.
Continuing to warm up, I'm doing some side to side hops stationary because I don't want any horizontal momentum, so it's easier on me. Then getting into my very first bilateral deep plyometric ever since getting injured. Felt pretty good. Then I'm progressing the stationary variation to one on the move. See, my foot is landing outside of my center of mass, super important. And getting some more variation in my yielding plyometrics. Here's one more really cool deep yielding plyometric version that I like, teaching me to handle lateral shear forces at the knee. And then here's my high intensity plyometric for the day.
Okay, so what I'm doing to maintain my athleticism is train my healthy leg. Every time you're injured, you should always keep training everything that you can without irritating the injury. So the reason you want to do that is there's two big reasons to that. So first of all, if you come back from an injury, you're already going to put more load on the healthy limb. You are already going to compensate with it. So it is going to take more of a load during your play by design of coming back from an injury. So why not prepare the leg for the increased demand? And the second reason is, so your neuromuscular system needs that stimulus in order to maintain that quality to some extent, and you will get some neurological benefit on the side that is not performing that exercise due to that cross-learning effect.
Here's another cool yielding plyometric for the hips mainly, because my torso is forward, my center of mass is going to be forward, it's going to be more on the hips, and another set of my high intensity long high hops.
So one of the biggest keys with yielding plyometrics is manipulating the major joint moment that is acting internally on your body when you're doing the movement. That means you want to manipulate where your torso is, if it is vertical or is it hinged, and where your knee or your hip is in relation to your center of mass. So that will determine where you have the largest internal torque acting when you're doing the exercise. So we want to do stuff with an upright torso and a hinged torso. We want to do it a little bit more mid-range and super deep range as well. And the most important part is to stay relaxed while you do it. If you're straining and super hard compressing while you're getting out of the bottom, you're missing the point of a yielding plyometric.
So here's me exactly applying what I just explained, which is manipulating the torso angle to manipulate the force. So another high intensity plyometric. And then here is the other thing that I mentioned, which is sometimes working medium range, sometimes working as deep as you can, like I'm doing here.
So to finish the session off, I will do maximum nervous system speed firing with super short contact times. So the goal here is to turn your muscles on and off as quickly as you can and see how long your nervous system can maintain that output. And your goal is to be able to do it for 30 to 40 seconds with really crisp, clean ground contact without slowing down. So this is really going to train all the lower leg muscles, all the intrinsic and extrinsic foot muscles, those lateral stabilizers of the lower leg, like the peroneals and the lumbricals, and also your tibialis pair. But mainly this is going to challenge your nervous system. How long can you fire and turn your muscles on and off effectively and efficiently without getting sloppy, without spending too much time on the ground, and especially without getting too tense and staying relaxed.
So I was able to get 25 seconds, but usually I would get above 30. So this shit really detrains quickly. You gotta keep your nervous system on point.
So that's it for the plyo section. Let's head to the gym and lift.
So now while editing, I'm noticing that my camera settings were wrong. I will fix that in the future, sorry for that. And also I cannot use the videos in the gym because the sound was too loud from the music.
So unfortunately my camera ran out of battery, so I'm gonna continue on my phone. But now I'm getting into some stagger stance RDLs because I started a new phase, like I said. And in the previous phase, I've been focusing a lot on deficit RDLs bilaterally. This is because I was focusing on a huge global stimulus to my hamstrings. And now it's time to bring that unilateral strength up to par with that bilateral strength. And it's the exact opposite as with my squatting motion. Previous phase I went unilateral because I wanted to even out my legs, and now I'm doing bilateral squats. So everything goes hand in hand.
Like I said, my camera died, but here's a video from my phone that I also posted on Instagram.
So now I'm getting into a hamstring curl pro seated calf raise because my hamstring strength is deficient in the curling mechanism, and also I want to train my soleus because I don't have real impact on my left leg, and because the soleus really is a big contributor to slowing down the anterior translation of the tibia, which means that if your tibia just drops forward too fast and your soleus is not decelerating that motion, there's more stress to the knee, more anterior shear force between the tibia and the femur.
So usually I don't train the same muscle group twice in a workout because that's junk volume most of the times and not necessary. Except for two instances. First one would be you training different qualities, and the second one would be the way that I use it here is you're training different mechanisms. So the hamstrings extend the hip and also flex the knee, and here I'm training the knee flexion. So then onto my seated calf raises. I'm trying to go as heavy as possible, and yeah.
So to finish off, I will be training a hip abduction in the machine. This is because I want to really load my glute medius. This is really important for people with medial knee problems like myself, and you go to this once you have acquired the coordination of abducting your hip properly without your knee diving in a close chain, so with your foot on the ground. So once you have that coordination, you really cannot further prepare for the demands of your sport and the valgus forces that are going to your knee without really loading really heavy on your glute medius. You gotta train that max force quality of the muscle that essentially resists that valgus stress. So you can do all that banded stuff for as long as you want, but at the end of the day, stimulus is still king.
Alright guys, so that's it for this workout. If you want to learn more from me, check out my Instagram at Saisan Training. And if you want training programs, you can find that on my link tree. Or if you want education and you're a trainer, want to learn from me, I got a course that will help you out.